Welcome to Success Leaves Clues podcast, where I find regular people doing extraordinary and phenomenal things. And I have with me today Kammi Holt, the owner of Slay Her Station. Let me put some emphasis on it, Slay Her Station, because you definitely get the ladies right. So I want to make sure it's, enunciated correctly.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining me. You are in Houston,
Texas.
correct?
Yep, Houston, Texas.
All right. Well, tell me a little bit about that first. So what was your journey like getting to Houston?
It was out of nowhere. Like I woke up one day and I was like, I need a change and I'm moving. So I got my
Wow.
best friend and my sister. We came to Texas for like a weekend. We looked at not hotels, I'm sorry, apartments. And then we drove home and like a day later, I was like, I'm gone. And I moved.
That
Found out.
takes it takes a lot of courage to just up and move, and not only just up and move, but uproot yourself and your family, move somewhere that you're not familiar with, and start a business.
Right. Right. It was not easy. I tell you that it was not easy, but it was definitely worth it.
Definitely, I've seen so much growth and progress in your business. I'm sure I'm only getting a
Yeah.
tip of the iceberg. So tell us a little bit about your business and what you specialize in.
Okay, so I'm a licensed cosmetologist, and basically, the Slay Her Station is like my haven. It's like a salon, my mini salon, and I take all type of clients, different hair textures, all hair textures, and I get a lot of women with damaged hair. I got women who in their middle ages who just want to be younger, and I try to
Yeah.
do my best at accommodating everyone because I feel like for a woman or anybody with appreciates and want to take that journey, I love doing it with them. So yeah.
So sorry about that. I had a little bit of
No,
technical difficulty. See my lighting. I'm like I told you, I'm not in my normal studio, so I'm having some issues with lighting and everything. But
you're
thanks for
fine.
working. But so, what brought you to cosmetology? What gave you that passion?
Okay, so the funny thing is I never wanted to do it professionally until I hit like maybe 23. I always did it like in high school, like starting off with braiding hair. My mom taught me how to
Yeah.
braid hair. I'll braid girls hair in school. I never really did my own hair at all. And I don't know, it just kind of hit me one day like I want to do hair. Like I started just, seeing, like I was always a magazine head. So I'll go flip through the magazines and one day I was just like, this is what I want to do. I want to do hair. And I'm a people's person. So it was really cool for me. And when I went to hair school, I just kind of like fell in love with it. Cause I had no really like, oh, this, and this, coming up, growing up. I never really had that. So I used to just ask God, like, God, send me something that I can do that I'll love to do. And
Wow.
yes, hair just kind of like sat in my lap, like, taking it seriously one day. And
Yeah.
I went to go enroll in school and I did it.
So the journey for finding your passion, a lot of people, some people find it early, some people find it late. But what I'm saying is a lot of people struggle with finding their passion. And you
Right.
said you prayed on it, you asked God, help, guide your path and get you to whatever your passion is. What do you feel that exact moment for you knowing this was your passion?
For me, it just kept sitting in my lap. Like I'll pray on it and but when you say pray on it, you got to really like pray on it. You can't just like pick it up and put it down when you want to. Like I had to keep saying the prayer. And, I felt like things would happen like I'll have an opportunity to like take a job, Kevin, or like I'll have an opportunity to do real estate or this, and this. So I learned that, okay, maybe this is really what he's sitting in my lap because everything that else that I tried to do, it just didn't feel right for me. It didn't
Okay.
feel like it was, something that I could do for the longevity, something I could do with heart and just be good. That's the type of career that I always wanted. And everything that I would try, I would take a good job, I'll do this, I'll do that. And I was just never happy. It was just like, this is not for me. And I just kept praying and kept praying. It's like hair just kept sitting in my lap. Like I couldn't get past it. I don't care where I was. I was driving by a hair school or Remington College or whatever type of college I can get to get that, certificate or that degree. I was like, man, this gotta be for me. And it was just, it just kept coming to you. And if it's for you, you won't be able to put it down.
Oh man, that's the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah, as soon as you know that this is it, nothing else matters.
No, and then it's weird because you take off with it. Like you take off. Like all
Yeah.
the energy you had put into other things that make you be like, man, I should have figured this out younger. I mean, while I was younger, I should have prayed on it earlier instead of, trying to do it your way.
Yeah. That's important because if you're trying to force something that's not really for you, maybe you see somebody else being successful, like you said, you were looking at real estate things and all these different things, and then you're trying to do what's really their gift, and
Right.
then it's a struggle for you. You might be able to be successful in that area, but it's a lot harder for you. But then
Definitely.
when you're working in your gift and in your passion, it just flourishes and it comes so natural for you.
I agree. Because even in hair school, people be like, you just start taking it serious. You're so good. Or you know how to talk to people well. When you really like sit into your purpose, can't nobody take that from you. Nobody.
Yeah. What made you decide to do your own salon and start your own business rather than just go into somebody else's or do like what do they call it, like a booth or something in somebody else's space?
Well,
But you
actually, after hair school, the lady that used to do my hair, her name was Tresca. She's like an old school beautician. And when I got in hair, I was telling her before I even went to hair school, she'll be doing my hair, and I'm like, I'm going to school for hair. She was like, no, you're not. You playing? And I'm like, and when I go, would you offer me would you allow me to come work in here? And no lie, she used to be like, if you're serious, yeah, the day you graduate and the day you get your license, I'll have a chair ready for you. And I kid you not, she did. So I actually did go to someone's salon in a booth for like 3 years. So I actually like came from the bottom, like working, getting shown the ropes. Even though I had the school part, you still got to learn, the reality of it. And
okay?
I did that for like 3 years, and from the nitty gritty, nothing like how they tell you in school. So I did, and it made me. It created, she showed me the business side. I had to start from the bottom with great customer service. You had to become a great listener. So it's like I went through all of that, and I feel like that's needed. I feel like even with the business, I would tell somebody have a mentor or sit under someone just so you
Oh,
can
yeah,
learn. And
definitely. Yeah, she was your first mentor. Have you had a mentor since then?
she's always been my mentor. Mm-mm.
Wow. So
Yeah,
she
oh,
set you up for success the right way.
she did. And when I tell you, it was not like I thought when I got out of hair school. Oh, I knew it all. She was like, no,
No.
okay,
Yeah.
right.
Well, did she help you find the school too, and is that
No.
something that's required?
Let me tell you, I was driving down the street, and I had two schools in mind. It's a school in my hometown called Bishop State. It's a community college, and then I had a school that's Remington. So I
Mhm.
was like, okay, I can go to this school, Bishop State, the community college. I can go for 2 years, get my associates, and do hair. But I honestly did not want to do it that way. I was just like, I felt like if I would have took it that route, I would have probably like tapped out because I know school is just not for me. So I would have just like
Yeah.
tapped out, got bored, and was like, I don't want to do this because this. So Remington is a technical school. So basically, like you're shown the bookwork, but you're doing hands on very quickly,
Okay.
and that's what I preferred. I prefer to let's get to the point type of dig for me.
Yeah, to be active and you probably learn better that way too by
Yeah,
being
and I didn't
practical.
want a class for something I did not want to do for this amount of time before I can even get to when we came here. So to each his own, but for me, I think I chose the best route.
Right. Is your sister? You said she moved to Houston with you. Is she your business partner, or is this solely your
No,
business?
okay, so it's definitely mine. Me and my cousin, she is crazy because she moved up here first like 2 years ago, and I came a little over a year ago, and
Yeah.
telling her like I'm not working for anyone else. Like after I left the post office when I first came up here, I was doing it for like 2 months, and I was like,
Okay.
I'm not doing this for nobody. I just came up here to like really like get my life together, and then I'm gonna open my salon. And I kid you not, one day we got up and she was helping me look, and she was like, "Let's do it." And I was like, "Okay." And I signed the lease, and the deal was she'll sell wigs and I'll do hair, and that we cater to both, you know, wigs,
Yeah.
natural hair, everything. So it just fell into place really well.
Wow, that's an awesome combination. So I know
Yeah,
y'all stay really booked.
it'd be crazy. It'd be crazy.
How do you manage your time with so much going on?
It's hard, because of course I have to work. I'm a full-time single mom, so it's like very nitty-gritty. It's like literally I have to go by a schedule for me. You know, I have to, if I don't get up at a certain time, literally if I go over like 7 o'clock, I'd be like, oh, this is gonna be a bad day because you know, I'm not moving at my pace.
Yeah.
Like it'd be crazy, yeah. Cause I only have so many hours within the day where I can run my business, handle business, and then when I come home at a certain time, I'm in mommy mode. You got to turn
Okay.
it off. You got to leave the job at the door, and hey, I got a different job now. So
I was going to ask you about that, about kind of the balance that you have to have as an entrepreneur and then as a mother as well. How does your son deal with your business? Does he enjoy being around? Is he learning a lot too?
no, let me tell you,
No.
it's not like coming to the salon. He don't want to be around women all day.
No, of course,
Like,
yeah.
yeah, he be like, nah, I'm good. I don't like the women. They be touching. Oh, you so cute. So he don't like that. So what I do is I try to find like I have a good sitter, a very good sitter,
Mm,
and then I try to put them in things on the weekend, like with the sitter. She watches other kids, so I'll be like, hey, can you take them to go get air? You know, jumping place, a trampoline place, anything to occupy his time while mommy's in mommy mode. I mean,
okay.
work mode. You know,
Don't worry. Yeah.
so yeah, and like I said, I have it pretty good because when I wake up at 7 in the morning, that's making sure he's out the door for school, and then I'm straight to work. And then when I come home, that's when mommy mode. So from 8 to 3 I can work, but as soon as 3:30 hit, I need to be at the house because at 4 o'clock, mommy has to walk in there. You know,
Yeah.
so yeah,
You,
so
you, you told me
he
how,
don't get
oh,
he doesn't get both. You know, he don't get working mommy and home mom. He just get that's my mom.
he just gets the
Everything else
mommy
I'm
part.
sticking to.
Yeah,
Right.
that's good. He has to have his time. And then in that way, he doesn't get resentful for you running a business. He starts to appreciate
Exactly.
entrepreneurship and not be upset about it because you're always gone or always busy.
Right.
Yeah. What parts of entrepreneurship did your mentor teach you outside of just doing hair? You talked about she taught you the business side of it.
Right. Anything like as far as business, you have to have a passion for it. I mean, I know a lot of people business and that's not where their heart is, and you can tell in the
Okay.
business.
Mm.
So basically whatever you do, put your all into it and you will receive all back. That's the number one business thing. And put God first. Keep God first and then yeah. And I will
But
also
before,
say
oh, go ahead.
craft. Learn your craft. That's a good one.
So, what do you mean by learn your craft?
Make sure make sure like if you walk in a room and you're the only one bringing your business to the table, you'll be able to say the ins and out of your business and you'll be able to sell your business. You know, no one should be able to tell you something um more about your business than what you know. You know your craft, know your audience, know what you're doing this for.
Okay. So how do you go about keeping yourself sharp? Because I know you're in an industry that's always changing. There's new
Always
trends. There's you might turn around in 6 months and there's a new hot style. I don't want to try to name them, but I know there's a lot of things. So and I follow you very closely, so I know you also have a class, right, that you teach?
I do. I have a silk press class. So that's like as a hairstylist, of course, I like to be versatile, so I like to offer different things. But I specialize in silk press, so that's like my creme de la creme. That's my itch.
Yeah.
So that's a big thing, and I offer those classes. So if anybody, I get a lot of high school girls, a lot of students who's like, "Hey, I can't do my own hair, or my mom can't do my hair. Can you teach me this?" And I do. Parents, everyone, anybody can come take the class.
Okay. And
But
how
how
did
do
you
I
get
stay?
in?
I
Yeah, how did you get
definitely
started?
classes. I have to take classes every year round. You got to stay sharp on what's out there, what's drawing the most money, the most clientele. You have to be engaged in those things. Even if you don't want to specialize in it, you still need to know enough of it and be able to do the craft enough to provide, you know, to
Yeah.
everybody, not just one audience.
So when you say for everybody, what would you say your makeup for your clientele is like?
Like, what do you mean, like makeup? Like, what do they mostly get?
No, no, I mean like your clientele. So you're not just providing for one niche or one demographic,
Right.
right?
So right, not at all. So for me, like I said, I want to experience everybody,
Yeah.
that's every gender, every race, carries. Hey, whatever you need, I want to be the person where it's a one-stop shop. I can come here, she gonna slay my hair, slay my color, my ends gonna be tip top. I
Yeah.
want it.
So that goes back to you talking about the passion of your craft because you don't want to be bottlenecked into one thing. You really enjoy the industry as a whole, and you want to have clients, whether it's male or female, whether it's long, short, natural, straight. You just want to just really be engulfed in your industry.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah. What is Houston like for your industry? Is it a place that's always trending, or is
Ooh, it's
you think about like Atlanta, DC, New York? Is Houston one of those places that's what is it like? Just tell me.
Most definitely. It's trendy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's and I'm from Alabama, so that's way smaller than Houston. It's trends, but not to this extent. Like a
Okay.
trend here can go a long way. So let's say a simple ponytail is trending. You got everybody wanting just for a sleek, sexy ponytail. Like just if one person wear it and it's nice, they like, oh, I like the way she wear that. I like the way she can rock that. You got 150 girls behind her. That's why in this industry, you got to put your all into every head that comes sit in your chair.
Right, because that one style is marketing for you, right? So it's
Exactly.
good or bad. Because if you do a
Exactly.
bad job, that's going to spread too.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
as soon as that one good client goes out, everybody's gonna say, "Oh man, who did that for you?"
Exactly. Exactly. I want to go to her. What's her IG? That's
Yeah.
exactly what it is.
What other forms of marketing do you use for your business
So
besides your
I'm
social
like,
media?
I'm trying to get with social. It's a challenge for me because I don't like putting myself out there. I love to
Yeah.
be just in the back and let my work speak for itself. But with social media, you have to be upfront and personal. So I'm definitely working on a stronger audience as far as in social media. But me, word of mouth, old school.
Okay.
Like the more clients I get out there and they're showing my work, that's the most I've ever gotten clientele. Just word of mouth. Like social media does its job too, but my clients, they go out and they're partying and doing their thing, and I always get inboxes and DMs. Hey, I seen this girl here, and I wanna. Can you do my hair? And it's been great. Like, yeah, sure.
It's awesome. So you're just continuing to grow.
hmm
What was it like for you before you found that passion and you got into the hair industry? Or cosmetology? What were you doing before that?
What it was so long ago. What was I doing? I was probably working like at a Lorica, like a call center, or gosh, I was still in the military at the time. Um, yeah, like just in the National Guard, so not full time. So
Yeah.
I had to have a civilian job. It was like a LORC at the time. And if I'm not mistaken, before cosmetology real estate in my life, I was going classes to be a realtor. I'm sorry, a realtor. And it was so difficult. Cause can you imagine not knowing what's your what's your purpose, what you want to do? So you're trying to find out other things that you can do, and it's just miserable because you're all over the place. You're not
Yeah.
really into nothing that you're really want to do. So you're trying to involve yourself in other things to see if this is your niche versus your
And
passion.
yeah, until you actually find what it is that suits
Right.
you. But
Right.
thank you for your service.
Thank you.
What was it like? Tell me a little about the military, because I know a lot of. I mean, military. I was in the army too, so
Right.
there's a lot of good training. There's a lot of good leadership, and do you feel like any of that or those qualities helped you with being an entrepreneur?
Um, I would say yes. I've always had a very strong personality coming up. So I've always been, I can talk, like I can talk and sell myself. But the military has helped me as far as it's a time and place for
Mm,
everything. And also leadership definitely makes you, it puts you out there. You know, if you're quiet and timid, or if you're the talker, it teaches you, hey, in place, it's a time to be, you know, you have to be in a certain place at every time. It teaches you how to organize things, put things into perspective. My sergeant used to always say, put things in its place. And
yeah.
I feel like that's so important with business. You got to learn how to take it on the chin, you know, like, okay, that was a loss for today, but I got to get right back up and I got to do this again. Same time tomorrow, same place, same time.
Outside of what you were talking about for the leadership portion of the military, but is it really like a journey of finding yourself, because you're saying, okay, you have one aspect where, like you said, you may be a person who talks too much. You may be a
Mhm.
person in your shell. And that experience just really helps you surround yourself with people that are from different areas, different walks of life, and just really breaks you out of your shell, helps you find the niche that you have, or the person that you need to be.
Definitely. It really does. And I entered the military at 20. So I was very young, fresh out of school. So it was like I really was one of those people that you're referring to that had to find themselves. I tell everybody I went in as a child, but I came out as a woman. Like it really made you. You know, I don't know anybody that's in the military that's like weak minded per se. You know, it's
Yeah.
like you might have came in that way, but you know, if it did what it was supposed to do, you know, you're gonna come out very sharp minded because you meet different people. Iron sharpens iron. You know, you meet a lot of people, and you talk to people. You know, you find out different things, and you realize it's not just one world out here, which is my world. You think you living in just your world, and you
Yeah.
realize no, they bigger than me.
So you go through a transition of, you're having jobs, or you're chasing a dream, but it's not quite your passion. You go through the military, you get phenomenal training, great experience, and then you take this leap, and you decide to start a business. And boom, instantly it's successful, or did you have some struggles in there
Ooh, I
starting
had
your business?
feel, you know. Um, and especially with my career, you don't every day will not be a sunny day. You know, every day
Okay.
will not be a, oh girl, I made $1,500 today. So I had to learn very quick industry. It has to be for the love, you know, because you're good days, you're gonna have some bad days, and not necessarily with money, just bad energy. You know, I work with people every single day, so it's like sometimes it's not about the money. Sometimes when you walk in there, you really meant to meet somebody and minister to that person, or you know,
Wow.
or vice versa. You just what you're gonna pick up. So for me, I try to stay one track mind. Like, hey, you here to do a job, complete the
Mhm.
job, perform the job, and you have to get off and go home and what you got to do.
When you're talking about, you have an opportunity because you're interacting with so many people, for them
Hmm.
to minister to you, or for them to minister to you, or for you to minister to them.
Hmm.
And I've sat in a few salons myself, so I know
Right.
it's almost like your hairstylist can be your therapist, even at a barbershop, right? So for guys, it's the same thing. Like we hang out, we can talk politics, we can talk,
Right.
what's going on in life, how to invest in certain things. So how do you deal with that with your clients?
Like I said, you get a lot of energy, get a lot of personalities. And one thing that I've learned very early on in childhood is you have to adapt to every situation. You have to be
Yeah.
adaptable. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Um, one thing I can say, you could put me in any room and I can adapt to any room. And I would take pride in that, knowing how and when to be who you are, and to take a step back or take a step forward. And I feel like it's the same with this industry. You got to know when to speak and when not to speak. And when it is time for you to speak, you got to make sure that you're being loving, you're being kind. Even if you feel like the energy is negative, you still have to put forth that, I'm still gonna be who I'm gonna be. I'm still gonna smile. I got to
Yeah.
show this to you because you might need it. That I might need it. Whatever energy you giving me, I got that challenge for today.
You said what? You see that energy as a challenge for the day?
Of energy, I'm like, something about this energy I needed today. Maybe it was to
Okay.
keep me sharp. You know, maybe it was teaching me, hey, humble yourself. You just never know. So I take every day lesson every day.
Yeah. And then whatever energy you bring and that you allow in your space, this is your business, right? So you set the tone for
Exactly.
what you're going to allow, because if you're allowing negative energy in your space or the wrong attitude or conversation, and then a new client walks in, they're going to judge you off of that because this is
Exactly.
your business.
Right.
I'm sorry. Looks like we broke up a little bit. What'd you say?
I said, I agree. I definitely agree.
Yeah.
You have to set the tone. You have to be the leader in the room, and you have to know when to shift the mood, shift the energy as well. If it's negative, you got to know how to pick it back up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell me about your course. What does your course entail, and what does it offer?
The silk press course.
Yes.
Okay, so basically, the lesson starts at the show. I'm not like most stylists. I actually wash hair.
Okay.
So when a person comes in, even with my class, I ask them, "What are your goals? What are you trying to reach by taking this class?" Okay, I want to wear my hair straight, or I just learn how to take care of it. Great hair tips. So I first have to teach you how to correctly shampoo and condition your hair. Everybody is not just one way. It's a certain way you want to get in there and clean your scalp. I also teach you the importance of the shampoo and conditioner, because it's different things for different areas that you're trying to achieve. So I'll let you know, hey, it's great healthcare is in your products, not your hair oil necessarily. You need great products, because great hair starts from on the inside, not the outside. And I try to teach them, like, hey, if you can get this down, we can move further to the next step. They
So hold
understand
on.
that.
So,
Okay,
do me a
go
favor,
ahead.
because I'm one that thought washing your hair was just washing your hair. So
No.
what do you mean by? I didn't know. I would
Yeah,
use.
okay, so like your scalp, you have to, when you wash your hair, make sure you have, you can have nails or like a brush, a good demi
Uh-huh.
brush, and you want to stimulate your as your to open up your pores, get your pores open, because you all that dirt, those hair products you use throughout the weeks, that builds up into your hair porals. I'm sorry. And you have to get all of that out. So you have to have a great
Hmm.
shampoo, a clarifying, cleansing shampoo to get that out. And most people don't know that. They think, hey, I can use any shampoo,
No,
any
I didn't know.
conditioner, and it'll work. It'll probably do the job, but it's not targeting the areas that you need to be targeted in order to have, healthy hair.
Wow. And then so that's a positive things if you are getting the right product. And I would assume that there's a negative aspect if you're using the wrong product or
Right.
a cheaper product.
Definitely. And I would never necessarily say cheaper, because I have some very cheap brands that I use, from
Okay.
like, Suave or something like that. Like, I like it. The price doesn't matter. It's what you're trying to achieve. So I
Okay.
tell people, if you have really, really thick hair and it's really, really dry, you want to moisturize and shampoo. After you clarify, after you cleanse it, you want to moisturize and shampoo. And if your hair is, people don't know you can have overly moisturized hair. You think with team to level it out. Most people don't know. So you could be
No.
shampoo and you just using basic shampoo, and you like, why is it so dull and it doesn't shine? You got to change up your products.
Oh, okay. So by
Yeah.
sticking with the same product, it's not going to give your hair what it needs. You got to rotate, switch it out.
Your hair have different phases, 3 phases,
Okay.
but I feel like you should always go by type. You should know your hair. You know,
Uh-huh.
one season it might be shedding, so you probably want up your hair and keep your trims up to date if it's going through a shedding phase. You know, if it's going through a thinning phase, to reconsider. I always thinning or see a dermatologist because it's on the inside. I can do my job on the outside, but you still a part as far as in, keeping your body that plays a huge part in it as well.
Gotcha. So then you take them from the bowl, and then that's like they're learning the basics, right? The
Right,
fundamentals.
definitely.
And then you're
Very,
taking
yeah.
them into what phase after that?
The deep conditioning phase. Like, hey, I know you just shampooed in your hair, but we need a deep condition to get it deep, deep to that
Okay.
hair. Uh, so, I tell them, hey, based off different, I give them examples like, hey, if we had a client here who had very dry hair, everybody very dry, brittle hair looks like. So I always try to use an example they can use. And I'll be like, hey, a very person, and you can either plastic cap over your head, walk, do whatever you need to do, or you can sit under the dryer. Personally, sit down, get some heat to your skin. Because after I remove you from the dryer from a deep condition, I'm gonna go back and I'm going to rub my fingers through your hair. Just to stimulate and make sure everything is what it needs to be, and we'll go ahead and rinse you out. And after that, that's when I bring them to my chair, and we go through the process of, okay, hey, let's talk about the expectations you have leaving my chair, because we're
Mm,
about to, get into the nitty gritty of the styling then.
excellent. The course, to me, sounds phenomenal. I know I
Thank
would
you.
love to take a class or get educated by anybody who's a lifetime learner, right? So somebody like
Right.
yourself who's always staying up on trends, always staying, what's going on in the industry, and you're not just teaching somebody old stuff from maybe 20 years ago that's maybe not as relevant.
Yeah, because it won't last. It
Yeah.
won't last. Hair, you got with all everything. You got to keep. They'll leave you behind. Seriously, I don't care how good you are in this industry. If you're not with, and don't get me say, that goes back to, you must know your audience, because if
Okay.
you're a hairstylist and you're older, you have clients have gained for over 10 years, they're not going to want to keep up with the trends. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But if
Gotcha.
you're a newer generational stylist, and that's your your audience, you have to keep up with those trends. You have to, or they'll leave you behind, because most people don't sit with a stylist. Really, they
Mm.
chair hops. Have to make sure that you have what they want. So unfortunately, you have to keep up with the trends.
Awesome. Awesome. What's on the horizon for you? Coming up in the next year, a couple years. I know this is your passion,
Well,
but what else you got?
yeah, I got my passion, but I just started a trucking company, K&J Trucking LLC.
Hey.
Yeah, so I'm very excited about that. It's been a challenge because it's
Well, what's
hard to
K
put
and
your
J? I
K&J is
got
me
an
and my son
idea.
Jamal.
I thought so.
Yeah, that's my little man. So I always said, like, my goal is residual income. I don't want him to ever or teach him, or I want to always let him know you can always have more than one income. That's very important for me. So I always said, if he never wanted to, let's say he don't want to go to college, and then whatever business I leave him in the hair industry, whether it's hair or barbering, if he don't want to indulge in that, like, hey, I got another option for you, trucking. You know, and that's how I got it started.
That's
It's all
incredible.
based around him.
It's all based around your son.
Yes.
So you took your passion and you said, I'm going to make sure I not only grow this business, but I have something that I can leave behind for my son. You're already thinking about his future. And
Definitely.
like you're saying, passive income, you're teaching your son entrepreneurship, even though he doesn't like to necessarily be sitting in the salon. I understand it's all women, but he's still watching you and he's still modeling things after you. And that's incredible.
Yeah, that's my baby. So I just want to and then I want him to see a working mom. I want him to see My
Wow.
mom never just gave up on anything. She didn't, even though she didn't go, the 4-year degree, she still found her passion. She worked at it, she worked hard, and she provided for me. And I think that's important for, your kids to see you achieve something. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a degree. And
Yeah.
that's not knocking a degree, but I want my son to see, hey, like my mom was a hustler. Like she got it by any means, and she made sure that I was saw it so he can understand, you got to get out here and get it. Nothing is given to you.
Absolutely. What type of um, logistics is your trucking company going to specialize in?
Just cargo. So basically we'll go pick up loads from, different states or within definitely different states. I don't want to really stay within Texas.
Mm,
The more you go out, that's the bigger loads you get. And of course, bigger loads is bigger money.
okay.
So that's the goal.
Okay. And then your business is going to hire drivers. I wouldn't see
Definitely.
you going on the road at certain times,
I
right?
can't. No,
Yeah.
I don't have no time. So yeah, the idea when I said, okay, I want to go into trucking, I definitely knew, learning the information to hire a driver. So when I actually just got out of this that phase of it, and it was not as easy as I thought, because for me, I didn't want someone who just was driving like 1 or 2 years. Trucking is very serious to me. Like when I'm
Yeah.
driving, I see a lot of trucking incidents. So I just wanted to make sure I was choosing someone who was, a little seasoned in that field for me. So I had to really like do my research.
Yeah. Learning not only how to probably hire the right drivers and somebody who's going to be safe while they're on the road, and also take care of the cargo that
Definitely.
that you're shipping from one place to the other. But I mean, learning the rates and how to pay people. I mean, it's a lot of education that
Exactly.
goes into it. You can't just jump into something,
No, you
halfway.
definitely have to do your research. And I always say, like, going through the hiring process, of course, you're going to ask, the person, like, if they've been in trucking, they pretty much have like what they feel like they should be making, and what this and what's that. So it's very important, just, in any business or hiring situation, to just know what you're getting yourself into. Make sure both parties know expectation. So we're all happy.
Definitely. Well, you are definitely a phenomenal woman. I want to
Thank you.
congratulate you. I want to applaud you. You have been in the military. You've been in real estate investing. You've got your own hair salon. You've got a trucking company. It's only up. I can't wait to see
Thank
how you
you.
continue to grow and how you continue to excel. I'm super proud of you. I know the audience is going to learn so much from you. I have something that I do on every episode. So it's Success
Okay.
Leaves Clues podcast. So I
Mhm.
like to point out just a couple of clues that I've noticed during our interview, and then I'm quite sure the audience picked up on some other clues, right?
Okay.
So one, um, you found yourself a mentor early,
I
because
did.
even though you had the education, you knew that you had to have somebody who was in that industry and had the experience, because there's the art and then there's the science, right?
Definitely.
So you had the how to, but now you got to know how to implement all of that stuff.
Mhm.
I noticed something from you that has helped you be really successful, and that's your courage. You have had courage, whether it's in the military, you've had the courage to try different things and not look at it as failure, but look at it as finding your passion until you actually found your passion. So that courage is very important for people to have. And then the other thing is, you talked about being in constant education, constant learner, a continuous learner, I should say. And then being somebody who is just always looking for what's going to help them grow, what's going to help their business grow. So I know those three things are going to really help and impact the audience, and it's going to help a lot of other people emulate that and be successful.
Well, I'm glad. Thank you. I'm so
Yeah.
appreciative. Thank you so much.
Well, I appreciate your time. I know you got a lot going on with your multiple businesses. I know you also have to give Junior his mommy time, so I don't want to hold you for too long. But I am truly
But I like
grateful.
how that sounds multiple. I
What'd you say?
like that. That's most stuff multiple.
It is. It is.
Yeah,
Keeping it going.
definitely. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much. And I just want everybody to remember, if you can dream it, you can achieve it. Until next time on Success Leaves Clues podcast.